Encouraging indicators are emerging in South Africa. The minister in the presidency announced on Thursday that data analyzed by the Department of Health suggested the country might have passed the peak of the Omicron wave. With a 29.7% decrease in the number of new cases detected last week, the government believes the fourth wave has peaked at a national level. If a marginal increase in the number of deaths was observed, lower rates of hospitalization were recorded. The good news has prompted the authorities to change some regulations, like the curfew in effect for the past 21 months, which was lifted. Updated gathering restrictions will enable up to 1,000 people to assemble indoor and 2,000 outdoor. Betting on vaccination to end the pandemic, the government has once again encouraged the people to get the jab. Over 27,000 vaccines have already been administered in the country.
There were more anti-government rallies in Sudan Friday as people, mostly young men and women, denounced the country's military rulers. Just a day earlier, 5 people were killed in one of the most violent crackdowns on anti-coup rallies since October. Security forces had fired tear gas and live rounds to disperse protesters who were trying to blockade roads. Our position is clear. We are opposed to any negotiations, partnerships or compromise. We came out today to bring down this ruling military council and to have a civilian democratic government afterwards. We came out to bring down the military leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the pro-Islamist regime. We are out looking for a civilian government for the Sudanese people. Despite the reinstatement of Abdallah Hamdok as prime minister, the Sudanese public is strongly opposed to the ruling junta. The coup on October 25th also left the civilian camp of the Sovereign Council deeply divided, with some agreeing to work under the army government while others quit their positions.
Faith-based organizations across South Africa are remembering the late anti-apartheid and human rights activist Archbishop Desmond Tutu by promising to promote equality and speak out against injustices. In 1985, Tutu became the first black bishop of Johannesburg. He said only harsh economic sanctions can force the white apartheid government to change its course. Bishop St. Mark Sintlali from Grahamstown says the church cannot afford to be silent.
The ruling party and this government was born in the church, in the Methodist Church. So in that way, it becomes one or the other way our baby. So it means then, when there is no change, we are called to enter their courts and to sit down with them and try and bring a prophetic voice to say that, let us change the direction.
In 2006, South Africa became the 6th country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage. Archbishop Desmond Tutu lashed out at the Anglican Church for what he described as an obsession with homosexuality. Tutu was also known to have transformed the church by bringing women into the clergy. St. John's Anglican Church Reverend Samuel Badger says everyone is equal in God's eyes regardless of their sexual orientation.
Baba Desmond emerged from what we call the Imago Dei doctrine, which is undergirded on the fact that both men and women are created in the image of God, and they are co-equal and co-dependent. And so insofar as that, we support him fully.
Archbishop Desmond Tutu's state funeral will be on the 1st of January. After the lying-in-state period in Cape Town for mourners, Wandi Swandengendo, East London, South Africa, Africa News.
Leaders of Tunisia's Ennahadha party on Friday condemned the arrest of the party's deputy chairman Noureddine Bhiri. At a press conference at the party's office in Tunis, the party described the situation as a dangerous precedent. According to sources, agents in civilian clothing picked up Bhiri as he was leaving his home on Friday. After that, Mr. Noureddine Bhiri was transported to a location unknown until now. Until this moment, we don't know, and no judicial authority knows the place of the kidnapping of Noureddine Bhiri, the lawyer, former justice minister, deputy president of Ennahadha movement, and a member of parliament. The party has alleged the country's president, Kais Saied, has a hand in the arrest. We hold the president of the republic directly responsible because he incited against Mr. Bhiri more than once in his speeches. He didn't name him, but all Tunisians know this incitement, and we hold Tawfiq Sarafidin, Minister of Interior, responsible. On July 25, Said sacked the Ennahadha-supported government and suspended parliament, presenting himself as the ultimate interpreter of the constitution.
Congolese opposition leader Martin Fayulu criticized what he called the shameless stealing of public funds under President Felix Tshisekedi's government. In his end-of-year speech, Fayulu, who controversially lost to Tshisekedi in the 2018 election, singled out the missing funds intended for COVID-19 response and civil servant salaries. The Democratic Republic of Congo is experiencing a surge in virus cases driven by the Omicron and Delta variants. Congo is the least vaccinated country against COVID-19 in the world. A combination of vaccine hesitancy and weak state capacity has contributed to the low vaccine uptake. Tshisekedi, who took over from Joseph Kabila in January of 2019, has also been accused by the opposition of seeking to undermine the Electoral Commission's independence ahead of the 2023 vote. Fayulu also slammed the presence of Ugandan troops on Congolese soil, saying Kinshasa was subcontracting the security of the state to foreigners. In December, Kampala sent soldiers to eastern Congo to carry out joint operations against the ADF rebel group, which it blamed for deadly bombings in November. The leader of the Lamuka coalition also demanded the lifting of martial law in the provinces of North Kivu and Ituri. The regions were placed under army rule last year after Tshisekedi announced an operation to counter armed groups.